The House Ways and Means Committee will hold a hearing on the debt limit in a little over an hour from now. Meantime, House Republicans will vote tomorrow to extend the debt limit until May. Congressman Levin of Michigan is the top Democrat on Ways and Means. He joins us this morning from the nation's capital. Congressman, good morning.
Good afternoon.
Okay, maybe you're in a different time zone, but we'll give you the 5 minutes past noon. Tell me about this May 19th date. Does that seem reasonable, and is it enough time to make this debate a little less contentious, a little more constructive?
I hope so, but I think the 3-month extension is basically not a good idea. I think it includes a lot of more uncertainty. I think the stock market doesn't want that. I think our economy doesn't need it. So I really think that we should not be using the debt ceiling for leverage. I think it's bad for the economy.
You said that in terms of finding ways to raise revenue, the president's proposed limit on tax deductions is the most likely path. Can you walk me through how you see this thing happening?
Well, there have to be more revenues. We have to, as the president said yesterday, have a balanced package in deficit reduction. And I think looking at the deductions will be one route to doing that. We have to be careful. I've made that clear, but we're going to have to look at that. As one of the techniques to raise revenues, it has to be balanced. We need to look at cuts in programs. Discretionary programs have already been cut. We need to be careful. We need to remember what's at stake in those programs. We need revenues as well as program cuts.
Obviously, we have a lot of investors, people who watch the markets watching us right now. This idea of repealing carried interest tax breaks, are you in favor of that? And do you think that that idea would make its way through the House and Senate?
We have to look at it. I've been advocating it for a long time. I think having a capital gains rate for essentially providing services for other people is not consistent with equity or a balanced tax code. I've made clear we have to look at the issue of enterprise value as we do that. But clearly carried interest is on the table, and I think we need to work together to have an equitable tax reform. We just need to do that, and we have to make sense of our tax code, and I think having a capital gains rate when you provide services for others, a lot of people are providing services for others, and they pay ordinary income tax on it. We have to look at it.
You said at the same time, though, that you'd like to keep the proposal to when it comes to the deduction for state and local taxes, you want to be more cautious on that than maybe on carried interest. Is there a litmus test that you're using as you go from proposal to proposal?
No, look, we have to be careful, but we have to be active. We have to look at more revenues as well as program cuts. So we have to put these issues on the table and think them through. We've been working on the carried interest for a long time. State and local taxes, I think we have to look at it so we don't put more pressure on municipalities and states to meet their budget needs. We have to look at the bond issue, for example, but carefully. So we're going to have to raise more revenues as part of a balanced package.
Finally, we're coming off of a majestic weekend of the inauguration, of course. A lot of the coverage today suggests that the president's address was perhaps too political, perhaps too much policy. A couple of his political opponents. How fair or unfair is that criticism?
I don't think it's fair. You know, if the president was too general, he would be criticized. I think the president felt he needed to be clear and strong in order to get people thinking and moving off of dead center. So I think that criticism is not fair.
Congressman, we're in for a few months of interesting debate. Appreciate your time. Please come back.
I think we'll be talking a lot.
Congressman Levin.
Both before noon and afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks.
Tweet time.